Every time you pay your taxes, a small slice disappears. Not to hospitals or schools, but to feed Ontario's most expensive habit, debt. It's the quiet addiction no politician admits to. In 2025, Ontario will spend more on interest than some ministries spend in an entire year. The government calls it fiscal management. Call it paying yesterday's bills with tomorrow's money. Behind every promise in Queen's Park lies a ledger. And in that ledger, a $420 billion secret. Tonight, we're following the trail of missing billions. Through pension funds, shadow agencies, and the kind of accounting tricks that would make a Fortune 500 CFO sweat. 'Cause the real question isn't how much Ontario owes, it's who gets paid when the province goes deeper into debt. Stick around. What you're about to see changes how you read every budget headline from now on. Let's start with the number everyone pretends to understand, the deficit. According to Ontario's 2025 budget, the province will spend $14.6 billion more than it earns this year. If you did that at home, you'd call it maxing out your credit card. When the province does it, they call it fiscal responsibility. But that's only the surface. Ontario isn't technically broke. It still borrows money cheaply, and lenders still believe the province will pay its bills. What they don't tell you is that the payments never stop. Interest alone will cost taxpayers $16.2 billion this year. That's more than the budgets of most ministries. So where does all that money go? The truth is, a deficit is only half the story. The rest hides in places most Ontarians never hear about. Agencies, pension funds, and capital projects with names so ordinary you'd never think twice. Imagine Ontario's finances as a giant household, except this one has 15 million people, $1 trillion in assets, and a habit of using one loan to pay off another. Every time a project runs late or a cost runs over, another credit card gets added to the pile. That's how the province keeps the lights on without telling you how bad the bill has become. Now, here's where the story gets darker. Not every dollar of debt shows up in the books the way you'd expect. Some of it hides in pension accounting. Take HOOPP, OMERS, and OTPP, the province's big three pension giants. Together, they manage over $700 billion. They invest in real estate, energy, and infrastructure. And when those funds move money, it quietly shifts how the province's finances look. For example, a shortfall in a pension fund doesn't appear as a single number. It's spread over time, across departments, sometimes even recorded as an asset instead of a liability. It's like owing yourself money on paper. It balances, but the cash still leaves your pocket. The same sleight of hand happens with agencies and capital transfers. Metrolinx, Infrastructure Ontario, Hydro One. Billions move through these channels every year, yet only fragments make it into the deficit headline. It's not illegal. It's how the system was built. Complex enough to keep you informed, but not enough to keep you curious. And here's the part that will change how you look at your next paycheck. When you get your income statement and see those deductions, taxes, pension, benefits, you're not just paying for services. You're quietly funding the province's borrowing habit. Your money doesn't only go to programs. It goes to interest, to lenders, to a machine that keeps rolling forward. Take Lisa, a nurse in Mississauga. She works 12-hour shifts, pays into HOOPP, and pays provincial tax on every dollar. Part of her pension is invested in the same Ontario bonds her taxes help repay. Lisa is both the lender and the debtor, funding the system that's using her future to pay for the present, and she doesn't even know it. That's how ordinary Ontarians get tied to extraordinary debt. A financial loop that feels invisible but shapes every budget decision that follows. If this helps you see how Ontario's money really moves, tap like so YouTube shows it to more Ontarians trying to figure out where their taxes actually go. Let's keep going. There's another layer to this story: the lenders. Who does Ontario? Oh, banks, pension funds, and global investors who buy the province's bonds. When you invest in a mutual fund or a retirement plan, some of that money may actually be loaned to Ontario. That means taxpayers and investors are on both sides of the same deal. You pay the taxes that cover the interest on the bonds you hold in your retirement plan. The circle closes neatly, but you never see it. It's a perfect system for stability and dependence. Because as long as the world believes Ontario is safe to lend to, the cycle continues. But if interest rates rise or confidence wavers, even a small increase could add billions in new costs overnight. And that's the quiet danger. It's not the size of the debt that breaks a system. It's the cost of keeping it alive. In the last fiscal year alone, those extra bonds don't vanish. They stack like bricks in a wall built out of promises. So no, Ontario isn't broke. It's functioning, working, paying, and growing. But beneath that calm surface is a relentless machine of debt rolling forward, powered by every dollar you pay and every promise politicians make. And here's the final hidden truth. The debt isn't just about numbers, it's about power. Every borrowed dollar ties the province tighter to institutions, investors, and agreements that outlast any government. The real currency of Ontario isn't cash, it's trust. And once that cracks, the cost of rebuilding it will make today's billions look small. So the next time you hear about a balanced budget, remember, balance doesn't mean paid. It means postponed, because Ontario's money system isn't a vault. It's a revolving door, and every time it spins, the bill gets bigger. If you want to keep uncovering how Ontario's money really works, hit subscribe. We're just getting started. And if you want to see how this story connects to your pension and the $100 billion fund that quietly owns half of downtown Toronto, watch the next episode. The Ontario Pension Puzzle.